It's a deep mystery, this matter of life and death, that the same person who brought us 1,000 joys can one day leave us shedding 1,000 tears. We begin our service on page 15. For those not familiar with our prayer books, we read the italicized words together, and feel free to read the Hebrew along with me.
There was no story to tell. Toby, I was asking you an innocent question. Did you play a lot of ping pong in your basement? Because Wayne and I played quite a bit of ping pong. Quite a bit. There was one summer we played like almost every night for ages.
The summer of 1972.
Summer of 1972.
Right after high school.
Right after high school. Right after, during, and before he got arrested for scalping tickets.
It's too bad, but that story was already told previously. I'm not going to tell it again.
In our darkness be our light, and in our loneliness, help us discover the many souls akin to our own.
We were friends for a long time before that, but we were very close that summer.
I gave him licorice in 8th grade when I didn't even hardly know him.
But following high school graduation in the summer before college, he worked all day long at his family's dry cleaner, and then he would get out at midnight or whatever, 1 in the morning, and that's when we'd get together. And I did not feel at that stage that I should be working, so I didn't work. I worked out at karate all summer long in preparation for my black belt exam at the end of the summer. So what we did, I'd wait till he'd get off work, he'd come over, we'd play ping pong.
Which was at 7 o'clock, not midnight, but who's counting?
We made it over there late.
Probably late. Probably came over around 10.
And we played ping pong for hours. Then we'd go out to the clock restaurant or whatever at 2 in the morning, when all the drunks and everybody else would get off work, and for the night shift. That was the summer of '72. Was there more you were going to?
Well, there was some gambling that went on.
There was some gambling involved in the ping pong.
I think that was pretty even. I think. I don't think you weren't Gensel, like, for sure. I mean, you definitely won your share of the
Gensel story was, did you tell us already?
I didn't get it on film.
We should get it on film, I guess.
Well, the Gensel
Because this
story
involves your father, too.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, at least when we were teenagers, my shot at basketball, we used to call Wayne Mr. 6 Inches, because if he was within 6 inches, he could generally make the shot. But we were shooting like free throws, and you're betting $1 a shot, and he kept losing a few dollars, and Harry came by, Wayne, you're a Gensel.
It's an absolutely true story, as I say. I think the epilogue to it that I have to say is that as over the years, his basketball game declined a little bit, mine improved dramatically.
That's true.
Yes, but even years before that, and we haven't had the free throw contest in a long time. But on film right now, I'm inviting you.
Maybe you should challenge him.
I'm challenging him.
Well, I'm ready to shoot free throws. Not right now. Not right now, but I'm willing to shoot free throws. Because I tell my sons, who I beat the youngest one when he was 15 on a game of one-on-one. If my dad beat me,
like the great Santini,
50 in anything, I would have cringed. But I told my sons I will beat them in free throws if I'm in a wheelchair. And I'm thinking I can do that with Wayne too. That's what I'm thinking.
That's mighty big talk. We got to see how this turns out.
Give us strength to face life with courage.
10 weeks ago, the 4 of us were in Arizona for Aaron's wedding, and we did a mountain climb outside Scottsdale.
Did you see anything?
And Sandy, too.
Totally picked up the torch of Gary Friedman?
He's not. We actually saw the video. He's very good.
Outstanding.
He's very good, and so he's in fantastic shape. So he was able to run up the hill, plant the camera, and then run back and walk up with us while we were walking up. We had a wonderful time. Saw a wonderful video after. So he is creating a chronicle of all of our lives. But what he hasn't had the opportunity yet is to interview certain of my friends who have some colorful stories in my past.
Exactly.
And so some of them have now been recorded for posterity.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
What Toby did a couple of times, he not only ran ahead of us, but he ran up onto a massive rock, which he had to climb up, took a picture of us, jumped off, and then caught up to us and ran ahead of us. He kept doing that. Am I exaggerating? He kept running way ahead of us, and the climb was getting more steep. And the most important thing that he did is when I was walking down, he took a picture of me, and I said something like that was an easy climb, or I did it. And he made it look like I was coming off the top of the mountain. And I didn't get anywhere near that.
The end of 1963. My dad said I was an excellent tax break.
Make us understand that life calls us not merely to enjoy the richness of the earth, but to exult in heights gained after the toil of climbing.
So how are you in such good shape, Toby? What's your secret?
Working out.
Oh, there you go. If you're going to do that.
Such opportunities that we missed over the years. Not working out.
You guys both of you have made families. Both of you have made families.
We have.
You have intense, brain-centric careers, very heavy-thinking careers.
I swim 5 miles a month. Does that count?
Add that to it. That's like that. No, I don't like that. That makes my stuff look. I'm in shit. I ran up the mountain. But anyway, you have these very full lives. With I don't have a wife. I don't have a family. I can spend that time.
I have to say that was also a great line in your speech today. A lot of people might not have gotten it immediately, but I thought it was hilarious. Where he was saying that Marissa dressed him up in girls' clothing and it didn't have any effect. Just ask my wife and kids.
Let's come in her service. We'd like to pause and remember Marissa. Would anybody like to share a memory of her?
Toby would.
Toby would.
Toby's not coming up with something right now.
Kind of like an old joke, isn't it? I mean, I remember people using a similar type thing on anyway, I don't want to say.
Yeah, just old negative about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we always make those kind of things, but I want to mention one thing myself, Mandel, Wayne, many moons ago, long before I even met Sandy, we met in Florida on, coincidentally, wasn't it? It wasn't Wendell, it was Steve, you're right, it was Steve. And because, sorry for making that problem, but Steve, and then it was just, I remember a beautiful sunset night, having a drink with us. Am I correct there?
No, absolutely. We had a very nice time. I don't remember now, this was later, what the circumstances were, how we were both there at the same time.
Was it Miami or was it Fort Lauderdale? Or?
I think it would have had to have been Fort Lauderdale.
I just remember it was a beautiful night and we're talking, and then sorry Mandel, but I had seen Steve earlier and he mentioned that to me, and that's what got my mind on that again.
Yeah, we had, I remember just the memories that emerge from it. All these years later, the grill at the poolside of your motel had tremendous burgers.
Yeah.
And so we kept on coming back there to hang out with you. But
Oh, I thought it was for me, but all right.
it was for you. There was an added attraction.
It was a nice place. I have fond memories of just that whole evening. I don't remember all the details, but I remember it was a very pleasant one for me.
I'm going to say 1981-ish.
That's very possible. That's very possible because that time I remember going down there, late 70s, early 80s. So you're right.
Yeah, it was before. I don't think you met Sandy till 83 maybe.
Well, 80. You're probably right. It was. No, I think I might have met her in 82 at work. I met Sandy when we worked together at Nadler and Gould, a tax firm, when I was becoming a chartered accountant. But that's your memory. But this is when I met her. I was not going out with her. When I met her, we were working together. We worked together for a couple of years as friends, and then went out. I think about the third year.
I don't think I've ever heard this origin story.
So that is a fact.
So you knew each other for a couple years before there was any romantic kind of movement?
Absolutely. Like we met. I was still in auditing. I was auditing firms, so I worked at a chartered accountancy firm. Sandy was a bookkeeper for the same partner I worked for, and that's where we met. And we worked side by side, as close as you and I are, for probably a year and a half. We would, all of the guys and girls in the firm would get together for lunch. We would get, go out. This was in Toronto in a beautiful area called Eglinton and Yonge. Had a great time, and then around the second year we were always friends. One night I think she or I said, let's go out and have a drink.
When your children witnessed your power, they extolled you and gave you thanks. Willingly they enthroned you, and full of joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang this song.
Oxygen machine that you do in Vegas, and I was like, did you do this in Vegas? And she said, yeah, I did that too. Did you wake up and do it, or did you find yourself in somebody else's bed? Did you pass out? It was very funny. Very funny.
Hey, Ma, Jake Mark.
Are you going outside?
Jake Mark. You're literally choking me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You get in trouble. You're going to talk to me if I choke you still? You're not talking to me for 3 years? Only 2.5.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Jake Mark. Jake Mark.
With all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your being.
We did the introduction, and then probably met. That was when I was going out with Jennifer, and then when we were ending it, she says, "I think you'd be a perfect date for Sandy. You should get to know her better because you have so much in common." And then that was in about 82, 83, and then we lived together for.
We would see each other, and it would just somehow be a Saturday night because we were both free. And it was my dad who said, "Well, he's your friend, but why isn't he your boyfriend? Why aren't you interested?" And I thought, no, I'm in a hard time.
That thought wasn't in your mind until he said that?
Yeah, we had a lot in common. We were friends, so
That's a wonderful way to start, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Absolutely it
I was
was.
so we were relaxed. We weren't trying to be someone smart.
There was never any obvious first date.
No.
Anything like
Yeah,
that.
there was some awkward.
It wasn't awkward when you were making a transition from friends to something more.
Yeah, I would say that's absolutely
And
correct.
it happened on the trip to Windsor.
Going from
When
friends.
Dorothy was asking,
From friends to
why
possible
can't you
daughter
meet any Jewish
Right.
women?
well,
Why can't you meet any Jewish women? Because I guess she said, I'm bringing a friend. She
Yeah.
didn't know if it was a friend or a friend or a girlfriend.
But you know what? Growing up in Windsor, some of my friends were not Jewish, right? They were Shagans or Gentiles or whatever they call them.
Non-Jewish.
They called a Jewish woman something else, a shiksa. And so I figured I would gain some brownie points by bringing Sandy home, not knowing that I was getting closer to her at the same time. And so when they met Sandy, a beautiful Jewish woman, they were very happy. And all was good in the Bornstein house.
All was good in the hood. Wait, tell the story about my mom and the bag before you went to
I'll
college.
tell you this in a second. We talk about the Shagans. The time we took Harry to Vegas, it was with Manny and Kathy,
And
but also my
Mel
friend
is
Big Tom O'Rourke.
Yeah?
And he, Harry, of course, had male friends who were Shaganses.
Yes, he did.
Clarence Allen,
His best friend.
best friend. So, but there was always, it was different because he was not Jewish. So when we had Kish, a little bit lower, right over here. We had a very nice time. Harry was with Manny and Kathy, me, and Big Tom. In fact, the three of us slept in the same bed together. Harry, Tom, and me. Not Tom, Dick, and Harry. Tom, Wayne, and Harry. And
I don't really want to hear about your homosexual encounter. I'm not interested.
And then he thought, this guy's taking me to Vegas, he can't give me a bed.
one morning I get up. Harry's already up. He's nattily dressed in his little suit, sitting quietly at the corner table playing solitaire with himself. I look over, Tom's on the other side of the bed, still completely out, exhausted. I take the advantage, I get out of the bed, run over to Tom's side of the bed where he's sleeping so peacefully. I put my ass right next to his face and blasted him. Harry is still playing cards without missing a beat and goes, "That's a hell of a way to wake up." And then he liked Tom so much, and after Tom had been the subject of so much abuse, Harry would always refer to him, where's that nice Shagus friend of yours?
Said these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up.
Because I'm so, your belly's fine, you don't have to move your leg. Your belly just got up. Hi, I'm here.
I'd gone over to pick up Marissa. This is a story I could tell tomorrow night.
Yes!
I went over to Auntie Margaret's to pick up Marissa to bring her home wherever she was living at the time. And Margaret says, "Wait a minute, I've got something for you." She runs back in and she comes out with 2 paper bags, puffs into one, ties it up, puffs into the other, ties it up, and gives it to me. And I go, what the fuck is this? She goes, 2 blowjobs to go. Everyone should have an auntie like Auntie Margaret.
All this we hold to be true and sure.
That same outgoing, bubbly personality that Tracy has to this day. I remember that about her mom. She was a lovely lady. That's my ex-sister-in-law, my brother's wife. She was a lot of fun and bubbly, and I thought to myself, if she ever had a daughter, she'd probably, first of all, love wine, and secondly, have a great sense of humor. And lo and behold,
There she came.
here it is. A few years later, it happened. It's a miracle.
God-given miracle.
It's a goddamn miracle is what it is. It's a goddamn miracle.
You alone are our God. There is none else. And we are Israel, your people.
Well, on that note, cheers, Margaret, and cheers, Rissa. We love you.
They're now
We
together.
love you.
Thank you very much.
They are
Toby. We
together.
love you.
Oh my God! If you hear thundering, it's those 2 dancing. That's exactly what those 2 are, disco dancing. They're together. Oh my God! I just
While we
love
got the
it.
camera, and we were talking about this a moment ago, I really would like to hear the first encounter, Sandy's impressions of Dorothy Bornstein on that first meeting.
Oh. What did she say? Was it really that bad?
Hi, don't you think you could be a Jewish girl? I was a Jewish.
Did you wear
She
a
didn't know
Jewish
you were
star?
Jewish?
My name was Sandy Utman. I don't know if you introduced
She didn't think you were Jewish?
I don't know. It took her a while.
She
but
said, why
he
can't he
said
get a nice
we were
Jewish
friends.
friend? Oh.
Not that this was my girlfriend.
Okay, I have the first encounter.
But I bonded with her quite right away. She drew you in. She made you her friend. And so you kind of accepted her, that you were going to be part of her life.
She loved coming to see us too.
Yeah. I remember when my aunt, the first time she met Bubby, they were in the hospital when Dean was born, and Bubby said to my mother's sister, you know, Claire could have done a lot better. And my aunt said, so could have Margaret.
Touche.
That was it.
She learned to love her an awful lot.
Yeah, they were
after
so
that.
close.
That changed radically.
Yeah, she loved her.
She didn't want to, but she did.
She did. You couldn't help but love Margaret.
Exactly. You know, because Margaret was not Jewish, and my mother thought her son should marry a Jewish girl. But then after she was in the family, I remember, I'm not sure about this, but the first time we met her is when she walks in holding Dean as a very young child, and
20.
it was their
20. She was in her 20s.
she was in her 20s, so at first she couldn't help not
She might have
love.
been 19.
Who was?
Margaret.
Yeah.
She was
Yes.
22.
No.
She was 22. She had 3 kids at the age of 22.
You know what? I met her probably when she was 19. You're probably right. She was a teenager. She had modeling pictures. That was something she wanted to do. And what I mentioned earlier is she was a very buoyant, very happy, bubbly person. That's what I think of your mom. And your mom and I were close in any case. I loved her. And I think she knew that. I didn't see her a lot, but we were always happy to see each other.
She was happy to see anybody.
Yes, she was.
Especially because you always brought vodka.
Yes, that didn't hurt, did it? But, well, I guess everybody, I think that's all I'm thinking of talking about right now.
We've had it. We're out. We're out.
Yeah.
We're out.
No, you just said stop talking.
I know we did. That was a good ending.
Guarded and minded of relief. Grant consolation to those who mourn. Give them strength and courage in the time of their grief, and restore to them the sense of life's goodness. Fill them with reverence and love, that they may serve you with a whole heart, and let them soon know peace.
You know, fascinatingly enough, I hate having my picture taken and I hate being on camera, so that was an invalid hypothesis, oh bro, oh Molly. But it has been a long day. We're all quite tired, long, trying day with a lot of emotion, and we go home, get some sleep, and then we gotta go up and
Do you have a message for Ma?
hang out with the relatives again tomorrow. And I have a message from Mom, or I have a message to Mom?
To Mom.
I do.
For Mom.
I have a message to my mom.
To my mom.
You're asking me, or you're telling
Do you
me?
have a message to my mom?
Okay.
Yes or no?
I'm going to think about that, and tomorrow I will have an answer.
Let our darkness be dispelled by your love, that we may rise above fear and failure.
Hand back over here for a minute. I can go with that. Love you, sis. It just, of course, will not be the same without you. But you're still with us. You're still with us. So there's that.
Ma, do you like my pigtails? Emily did them. Wait, don't get the drunk part on because you did that Emily's and I looked way too fucked up.
Okay, good. You're saying that on camera.
Yeah, keep going.
God, I'm always a fucked up cousin.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're the fucked up daughter.
Yay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yay. Yeah. Yeah, how about we zoom on and
A puffy puff.
Puffy Puff Puff in her favorite picture.
She loved that Coke.
Oh, yeah, she loves the Coke.
All right, we'll shut her down. Shut her down.
Wait, I'm not done.
Guys, let's tie this up. Yeah, I gotta go home.
Ah, shit. I'm like ready to stay all night.
No, Brianna.
My first memory of Lisi was when they brought her home from the hospital, and we were lying on, I think it was Miss Marissa's bed. Me, Marissa, and Florine were just like playing with her toes and her little hands, and we were just in awe and marveling at this beautiful new creature. With you, I absolutely remember going to the hospital and seeing you, I don't know, hours after you were born. It was Bowman, wasn't it? Yeah. And you were fresh from being born, and you had like a little mohawk. I know that's the family legend, but I remember seeing it. And Brianna was a little different because your mother was pregnant when Andy and I got married, January 16th, 1993. And Brianna was born May 11th, 1993. And my mother, Bubby Ruthie, had misbehaved at our wedding, caused a little bit of a scene, and I didn't talk to her from the wedding until Brianna was born. So when we got to the hospital, Sinai Hospital, my mom was there, and she decided to attack my new bride. And we're there to see a beautiful new niece. We did see, and she was beautiful, but what colored the episode was Bobby Ruth deciding to attack my new bride, saying, what kind of wife doesn't have her husband call his mother? Blaming her for me not calling my mother. And she was attacking her. And I walked out of the room because I feared that I would throw her through the window. Andy was much more controlled, and she said, Ruth, it's not my intention to ever have you talk to me like that. And if you want to have a relationship with me, basically, you better behave. If you want to have a relationship with your son, behave. If you want to have a relationship with our children, which we didn't have any yet, but you better behave. And I think that talk from Andy straightened her out more so over the years to follow. But that's something I will always remember about Brianna's birth. But I remember much more about the births was just having new kids. And of course, each of you were born before I had children, and you were my kids basically in my mind. We used to come over there every opportunity, school nights just to say hi or read stories. Definitely Saturdays to go to ice cream or hiking or
Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins was huge. What was that park? Heritage Park. Yeah, and I still actually like to
Thank you.
go on those long walks. I still will occasionally go to
Secluding
Heritage Park by
themselves.
myself. It was much more fun with you guys. I remember the time when Brianna, forgive me, I hope we can laugh about it now, but we were on the swings at Heritage Park, and Brianna just swung a little too aggressively and became airborne and landed not well, and was crying for a solid hour after that. I don't think you were hurt, but you were shaken.
No, I was hurt. It was blood.
Was there blood?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
Myself
remember
is
that.
shape.
Yeah. Okay, but then we went from there to Pizza Hut for some reason. I don't know why. It was just close, I guess, and got something to, cold compress, and this was in the days I think when you were still wearing the baseball cap and assuming the alias of Jake.
Wait, what are you talking about? I am Jake.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Don't you remember for years or for?
I remember her being Jake. I
Yeah.
just don't remember that swing.
I'm pretty sure you were there. Wasn't she there?
I'm sure I was, and I just erased it.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, it was.
I flew off those things quick.
I mean, she was loving the swing and going further and further, and then became airborne and left the swing and attempted Earth orbit and fell a little short and into the kind of the wood chips or whatever it was that were.
It was wood
just
chips,
yeah.
yep, and they cut me up. That
Five
was
at
yesterday,
that time.
honestly.
And Lucy was 3.5. She'd just been bit by the dog, and just so she was always, like you saw in the video, she was always, always smiling and happy, and she was so in pain and shock and miserable, and I can't. Then the time you swallowed the nickel.
It was a penny.
A penny.
It wasn't that expensive.
Okay. Well, there was a crisis over that. Then you were jumping up and down in the bed and launched into
You came over.
Had
Mom
what?
always talked about that.
Yeah, well, because it's like, I don't know why. I mean, it's not like I could stitch you up. But, maybe there was some legal consultation or something. But, yeah.
Well, there was a lot of blood. I think it really freaked Mom out, and she didn't know what to do. and you came over and you were in your pajamas and they had holes in them.
I was in my pajamas.
And they had holes in them, apparently.
That's what Mom always told us about it. And I remember because I was watching Rugrats, and all I hear is screaming. I was like, what the hell? And I look, and there's just blood everywhere.
It wasn't me.
It was you. And with the penny, Mom told me to take the penny away from you so you didn't swallow
Yeah, that's
it.
what I heard.
And you swallowed it? But at least
You dumbass.
at least you did the safe thing for her.
I
She can't swallow it if you swallow it.
I had the space between my teeth, so I was trying to I used to be able to do this.
Now, you don't have a space between your teeth anymore.
I still do. That's
Barely.
absurd.
You do?
So you got that mom.
See, I used to remember Poppy Hubie had the space between his teeth, and I had that too. There's a word for it, I can't remember what it is, but I had my teeth
Bonded?
done. Not bonded, I have, not implants, what's the other word?
Cap?
What?
Braces?
Caps, but it's a different word for it.
Bridge?
No, it's not veneers. Thank you. Thank you. God, that was going to bother me. I have veneers now, and part of the reason was I even though I love that it kind of identified me with my dad, I am in a lot of photos, like for whatever my work, and I had a photo taken with me of a Supreme Court justice at a campaign event, and he has this hearty smile, and I'm like this. And I realized a lot of my photos were like that, and I said, I feel like my smile is inhibited, so I finally went out and had it fixed. This about 7 years ago, and it makes me feel like smiling more. Really, it's I feel better about myself.
Marissa had it too, didn't she?
She had it.
I think she had the space, and I think she also had some dental work. So,
Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'alko Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'alko